Hi everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to design and plan out your own corner to corner C2C crochet designs. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is some squared paper, some squared graph paper. And if you head to my website, happyberry.co.uk, there's a new section for free crochet resources and you can download this graph paper, just plain. It's a PDF. You can download that and print it off, which is perfect for designing your own patterns. And on this one, I've got a couple of little designs that I've put together. I've got a little tulip flower and I've got a little heart. The actual PDF is just plain, so you can design whatever you want to, but over time I will add some little designs that you can copy if you want to. But then once you've got your square paper printed out, what we would then want to do is we want to come up with a design. Now, corner to corner crochet is very similar to cross stitch in the design process. So if you want to, if you're struggling to design your own unique design, you can just go onto Google Images, have a look at cross stitch designs, type in simple cross stitch design. You may want a flower or bird or heart, and then you can just take that design, see the little squares that make up the picture, and then using your squared paper here, you can colour in the relevant bits to make up your own pattern. So once you've done that, you've coloured in your little design, whether that's a little heart or a flower. What you want to do is to make sure you've got a white border. So as you can see here, I've got at least one square by one square of just white around the edge. So it creates a nice border around your design. See, I've got the same on the heart as well. Just plain white squares around the edge. This is to make sure that the design itself isn't right up on the edge of your project. So it's got a nice border when it's finished. You may even prefer to do 2 squares by 2 square border in just white or whatever background colour you want to use. And then once you've done that, you then just need to work out where your design is going to go. And when you've completed your little design, it's a good idea, because this paper is obviously a lot bigger than the project we're going to make, is I've just penciled in, I've got my pencil and I've just drawn a line to show where the edge of my project's going to be. And then we can work out that this is going to be 7 squares by 10 squares. It's going to be a little rectangle design. So once you've got that, once you've got your design in place, we then need to work out what colours we need. So for this project, I'm going to be using a little bit of white, a little bit of green, and instead of the yellow, I'm going to be using a pink. And this is just a DK light worsted weight yarn. It's a yarn weight of 3, and with that I'm going to be using a 3.5mm E4 crochet hook. So first thing to do is, when working corner to corner, you are going diagonally like this. So instead of working in rows like this, which we would normally do, we're effectively working diagonally in this direction. So we're going to start off with this square. Then we're going to be doing these 2 squares, and you're working in rows like this. So that's the fundamental formation of corner to corner, because you're going corner to corner. You're not going top to bottom or left to right. You're going corner to corner. Or you could go corner to corner. But I'm going to start with this square. So our first square is going to be white. So that's the first square we're going to work on. So take your white yarn, and we're going to do a little slip knot. And the first thing to do with corner to corner crochet is we're going to chain 6. Okay, you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're working with double crochet. So this pattern's in US terminology. So in UK terminology, a double crochet is a treble. So we're working with double crochets, and you want to chain 6. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to work into our 4th stitch from hook. So there's our first stitch. We don't count the loop on our hook. There's our first, there's our second, there's our third, and then in our fourth stitch down, put our hook, and we're going to do a double crochet. So pull through 2, pull pull through 2. Then these 3 chains on the end are going to count as a double crochet as well. So effectively we've got 2 double crochets so far. Then we've got 2 stitches left, 2 chains left. We're going to do a double crochet in those last 2. So go into the next chain, do a double crochet, and in the last chain do a double crochet as well. Okay, so we end up with a stitch count of 4. We got three proper double crochets, and then these 3 chains are counting as a double crochet. So our stitch count is 4. 1, 2, 3, and then top of that, those 3 chains is 4. So 4 double crochets, and that's the end of our first square. That's the end of our first square. So what we're going to do on our pattern, this is a good idea to do this, is mark off your pattern. If you don't want to do a cross over the top, what I do is this either side, so I know I've done that square. So then we're going to move on to these 2. So these are still white, these next ones. So we can keep our white yarn for now. And then what we're going to do for our next square on our next row is we're going to chain 6 again. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we're doing exactly the same as we did for our first square. So we're going to yarn over and go into our 4th chain from hook. So again, don't count the loop on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into that 4th chain and do a double crochet. Might seem a little bit strange at first. Then we're going to do a double crochet in the last 2 as well. So double crochet in the next chain. But as you get going, it starts to become easy to understand. Then we're going to do a double crochet in the last chain. So it's exactly the same as what we did for our first square. We chained 6. We did 1 double crochet in our 4th chain from our hook and 1 double crochet in the last 2 chains. So you end up with something like this. Then what you need to do is you need to make sure that this square is facing this way. Okay, so we're going to twist our work so the curve of those chains is to the left. Okay, so make sure it's not facing the same direction, it needs to be opposite to this square. Then what we need to do is find the gap between those 3 chains and this double crochet, so this gap here, and put our hook into there. Okay, then just bring the yarn through and do a slip stitch. Okay, so this is our first square, and then this is our second square. So sorry it's a bit blurry, but it's this square here. Then we're going to do this square here. So then what we do is this time we don't chain 6, we just chain 3. So chain 1, 2, 3, which counts as a double crochet. Then in the same 3 chain space, we're going to do 3 double crochet. So put your hook into that 3 chain space again, and just wrapping it around those chains, do a double crochet. We want 3 of those, so that's 1. Just move that up, back in there again, 2, back in there again, and 3. 3 double crochet. So it's only at the beginning of a row do we do that chain 6. When we're working the squares in between, we just chain 3 to get our double crochet, and that's the end of our row 2. Okay, so we've now done these 2 squares as well. So you can either cross these off if you want to, or you can just cross off at the edge where you need to work. We've done those, and now what we've done is we were working in this direction, and now we're up here, so we're going to be starting here because we're effectively still working in rows, so you need to make sure that you're starting the right end, otherwise it can mess up your pattern. So now we're going to do these 3, and they're still white. Okay, so beginning of a row we chain 6, so we're going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chain 6, 1 double crochet in your 4th chain, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in the last 2 chains. One and 1 in the last one. So that's our first square. And because we're working, we need to turn our work, we need to make sure this project is facing to the left. Okay, so these 3 chains are on the left. Okay, so they're currently facing the same direction. Twist it, find the 3 chain space here, put your hook into there, do a slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to do the middle square, chain 3. This time just chain 3, 1, 2, 3 for a double crochet. Then do 3 double crochets in the same 3 chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we need to find the 3 chains on this one, and in that 3 chain space at the end we do a slip stitch and then do another square, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochet in the 3 chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's bring up a little loop. So there you can see our project starting to come together. So we did that one, then we went this way, and then we've come back this way. So we've done those 3 in white now. So we've done these 3. We've gone in this direction though, so we can cross these off. But now we're coming in this direction. So the next row, these 4, 1, 2, 3, they're all white as well. So we're going to do a row of white for the next one. Then it gets more interesting. So again, we just, at the beginning of the row, we chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at the beginning of every row, we chain 6 and do 1 double crochet in our 4th chain from our hook. And then 1 double crochet in the last 2. And it's just the same thing again. So it's nice and easy at the moment, it's just one colour. And then remember to twist your work, so your 3 chain spaces to the left. Put your hook into there and do a slip stitch. Then now we're just going to chain 3 at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochet in the same 3 chain space, just wrapping it around those chains. 1, 2, and 3. So 3 double crochet. Find the next 3 chain space and slip stitch into there. Do the same thing again, chain 3, 2, 3, 3 double crochet in the 3 chain space. And then the last one, again find the 3 chain space on the end, slip stitch into there, do a little slip stitch first just to join that square, and then chain 3, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So if you're brand new to crocheting, I do recommend checking out my beginner tutorials, especially the one on the double crochet, and then coming back to this video if you're finding it a bit too fast. Don't run before you can walk. So there we go, there is our next row of our 4 whites. Okay, so we've done these 4. So now we're here, and this is where it gets interesting. So now we've got 1 white, 3 green, and then we're going to end on 1 white. So let's do that. So we're going to start off with the 1 white first, and because it's at the beginning, we chain 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 double crochet in our 4th chain from hook. It's going everywhere. And then 1 double crochet in the last 2, so just the same as before. Okay, then we need to just twist our project so that our 3 chain space is on the left. Put your hook into there, but because we're joining a new colour, we're going to join it in the slip stitch. So instead of yarning over with the white, I'm going to drop the white, bring up your new colour, in this case the green, and find the end of the green, put that over your hook, just hold it with your finger, bring that through the 3 chain space and through your loop on your hook, and just pull your white nice and tight. Okay, then we're going to do our chain 3 in the green. 1, 2, 3. We do our 3 double crochets in our 3 chain space, but what we want to do is carry the white. So going to bring up our white, going to go into the 3 chain space, and to carry a yarn we just need to make sure that our white is just on top of our hook, and then do our 3 double crochets. 1, again make sure that white's on top, 2, and 3rd one, 3, so our white is nicely sat down there, it's been carried. Then we slip stitch into the next, our next one's green, so find the next 3 chain space, again bring up the white, make sure it's sat on top of your hook, and do your little slip stitch. So the white's now up here as well. Chain 3 and do another square, about getting your white in the way. 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet, making sure that white's on top of your hook. 1, 2, 3, and we need 3 greens, so 1 more green. Find the next 3 chain space, slip stitch into there, but make sure to bring up your white, sit it on top of your hook, little slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet, again making sure that white's on top of your hook. 1, 2, and 3. So that's our 3rd green square. We've done our 3 green, then we're going to end on 1 white. And hopefully you've been carrying your white yarn and it's all the way up here. Just give it a gentle pull just to make sure that it's got no loops hanging out. Be careful not to drawstring it, concertina it up, so you can pull and then flatten it down. And we're going to join the colour in the slip stitch. So put your hook into the last 3 chain space up here, but instead of yarning over with the green, drop the green, bring up the white, bring that through instead, pull the green, and then chain 3 and do your last square. I'm not going to carry the green though, just going to leave the green where it is. So 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. So there we go. So this is actually the bottom, so it's actually this way round, but we have now done this row. So we've done and this one, and we're now down here. So our next row is here. So our next row is going to be white, white, then 1 green, white, white, white. Okay. So we're going to do 2 white to begin with. And we begin by chaining 6. 1, 4, 5, 6. 1 double crochet in the 4th chain from hook. 1 double crochet in the last 2. Then remember to twist your project underneath, make sure these 3 chains are on the left, and we're going to slip stitch into there. Then our next one we know is white as well, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet in the same 3 chain space. That's our second white one there and there. Next one's going to be green. So what we're going to do is, we're just going to put this green just to the back, because this is going to be our front. Okay, so it's this way round. So this is the front. So we're going to put our green to the back just to make sure all our tail ends are at the back. Then we're going to put our hook into this 3 chain space. Instead of yarning over with the white, we're going to yarn over with the green from the back. Bring that through and pull the white. Okay, then do a green square. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. But we want to carry the white yarn, so we need to make sure that's up there. 3 chain space, make sure it's on top of your hook, and do 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're finishing up with 3 white. So put your hook into the next 3 chain space, but drop the green and bring up the white, which hopefully you've carried. And now we're working with the white again. Pull the green and do 3 white. Chain 3. So hopefully this is beginning to make sense on how you follow the pattern. Obviously, the more colours you introduce, especially when they're like one, you've got a bit of yellow up here and a bit of yellow all the way down here, and you have to carry all the yarn, can get more complicated. So if you're trying this for the first time, I do recommend trying with a nice simple pattern, just with a background colour and then a colour in your pattern. So just using 2 colours, just so you can get used to carrying the yarn and working the corner to corner. Don't make it too complicated. And the last square, slip stitch. I'm also going to discuss what happens when you get to the edge. You need to change your shape, because obviously this is not a perfect square, it's a rectangle. So I shall show you how to do that as well. So I'm just finishing the last white square. Okay, and our green's just been left down there for now. So there we go, that's the end of that row. See, it's starting to come together. So we've now done these 2, we did our 1 green, finished up with 3. So now we're on to this one. So we've got white, 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 green, green, white, white. And that's going to be the last, that's going to be our corner. So this will get interesting on this next row where we're not going to be over here. So we're going to start off with 3 white first. So beginning of a row, we chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 double crochet and a 4th chain from hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. One double crochet in the last 2. This is our first white square done already. So it does work up quite quickly. And remember to twist your project. So 3 chain spaces on the left, slip stitch into there, and do your next square. So how many did we need to do? 3, didn't we? 3 white. So we've done 1 already. This is our second one. 3 double crochet, stitch in the next 3 chain space up, and do 1 more white square, chain 3 to begin, 3 double crochet. And this is the back, so we don't need to worry about our tails as much, but our next square is going to be green. So we've done our 3 white, now we need to do 1 green. So we're going to slip stitch with the green. So what I'm going to do though is I'm actually going to come in from the front to the back, and I'm going to drop this green down. The reason for that is if I did it just normally like this and grab the green, I'd end up with a white bit in the way. So I'm going to drop, because this is the back, I'm going to drop the white down. You may want to play with this as you go along. Then I'm going to come from the front to the back and grab the green from over here. Bring that through. And that keeps this white at the back instead of traipsing over the front. And then I'll do my green square, chain 3. We want to carry this white yarn. So when I do my 3 double crochet, I'm going to put my hook under this white yarn at the back and then go into the 3 chain space. I'm going to wrap it around that white yarn as well. So 1, 2, 3. Pull the white a little bit. Now we're going to finish up with, no, we got another green as well. So again, I'm just going to tuck my hook under the white, go up to the next 3 chain space and do a slip stitch. So that brings the white up. Do another square. So chain 3, 3 double crochet, still wrapping it around the white as well. 2, 3. So it's a good idea to have a good sense of what's the front and what's the back. You may even prefer to have a little alternate piece of yarn just on the front, tied around the front, so you remember which side's the front and which side's the back, and it helps with hiding your tails and stuff. So all these little loops here are hidden on the back, whereas on the front it's a lot neater. So then we're going to finish up with 2 white. So I'm going to drop the green to the back. This is our back. And I'm just going to, don't need to carry the green, just yarn over with the white as normal. Pull the green and do 2 squares in the white. Chain 3, 3 double crochet. 2, 3. Slip stitch into the last 3 chain space, chain 3, 3 double crochet for the last square. Okay. And bring up a little loop. Just going to pull that a bit tighter. So there we go. So this is our front. You can see it coming together. So we've just completed that row. So we've done this row with the 2 green, and we've ended on 2 white. So now we're actually going to start in this square now, because we're not moving over to this side, we're actually moving up. So when you get to the end like this, is we need to not add a square here. We need to make sure we slip stitch up. So our next row is going to be white, 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 green, yellow, yellow, and then white. So we're going to start off with 3 white to begin, but we need to move up first. So to do that, let's make sure we move up and do this square instead of one here, is we just turn our work straight away. So we don't chain at the beginning, we just turn our work straight away and we slip stitch up to our 3 chain space. So I'm going to go into that first stitch and do a slip stitch. That's awful. and then slip stitch in the next chain, in the next stitch rather, and slip stitch in the next stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the 3 chain space, and we need to do 1, 2, 3 white, and then we just start a normal square, but we chain 3 at the beginning as if we're in the middle rather than at the beginning. So chain 3, 3 double crochet, and that's how we move up when we get to the edge. We just slip stitch up and avoid that first square. So we're not adding a square here, we're just going straight into this second one. 2, 3, and slip stitch up, do another one, three double crochet, it might seem strange to just go past the green. You may think, oh, I need to put some green in here, but sometimes your pattern completely avoids the colour and it's just literally as 3 white. Slip stitch into the green and do 1 more white. 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet. So there's our 3 white. Now we want, now next one is the top of our stem, so it's going to be our 4th green. So we're going to put our hook into there. Instead of yarning with the white, we're going to bring up our green. It doesn't matter dragging it all the way over because it's at the back. Bring that through instead. Chain 3 and do a green square, but carry the white. So as you put your hook into here, make sure your white's on top of your hook. Let's carry the white. Do 3 double crochet. So hopefully you got the gist of how to do this. But let's continue together to finish the whole pattern. Then we're going to join the yellows. We've actually got 2 yellow now, or in this case pink. I'm going to do pink. So I'm going to put my hook into the next 3 chain space, drop the green to the back, grab the pink which is running away from me, put that over my hook, hold it with my finger, bring that through and pull the green. Then do 2 in the pink or yellow. Let's chain 3. We don't need to carry the green can stay down here, but we need to carry the white still. So when we do our 3 double crochet, leave the green, but let's make sure to bring up this white onto our hook. Okay, so it's good to work out what colours you need to carry. Just wrap it around the chains and the white. Do 3 double crochet. Okay, pull that green a little bit. Just pull the white a little bit, and then we need to do another flower colour. So put our hook to next 3 chain space, bring up the green, the white, do a slip stitch, chain 3, and do another square. You can of course do a much neater job than me. I'm just trying to do this nice and quickly for the video. And that's our last colour of the flower, so then we're going to end up with just 1 white on the end, so we can drop the pink, find our last 3 chain space, and hopefully your white's just sat there waiting, and we can bring that through the slip stitch, pull the pink, and finish up with 1 white. 3 double crochet. Okay, so it's nice and neat on the front. We can hide that one at the end, and all our yarn's been carried on the back. So there we go, and see our flower coming together nicely. So we've completed this row. We've done that one, that one, that one, that one, 2 of our flower, and ended on a white. So now we're on this one, so we're going to do white, 3 yellow, or in our case pink, a white, a green and a white, and we're just going to carry on doing this until we get to the end. We're almost halfway through already. So start off with 1 white, chain 6, 4, 5, 6, because we haven't reached the end just yet, so we need to chain 6, do a double crochet in the 4th chain from hook, one double crochet in the last 2, exactly the same as before. Remember to twist your work, so the 3 chain spaces to the left. We're going to go straight into the yellow, or in this case pink, and we're going to do 3 in the pink. So we're going to slip stitch again, because this is the back and we're changing colour. The reason I want to put the white down and go from front to back to bring the yarn through is because if I did it this way, you'll see what happens. I just hook this. It leaves the white tail at the front, and when you carry it you'll end up with a bar going across the top, so it doesn't look as neat. So what I do is I drop the white to the back, because this is our messy back. Drop the white to the back, bring the hook from the front to the back and grab the pink yarn from there. Bring it through to the front, then through the stitch. Pull the white. Then do our square. 3. We still want to carry our white because we need it the other side. So we're going to bring yarn over and go underneath the white first before going into our 3 chain space. Do 3 double crochet. 2 and 3. You can just pull your white to neaten it off. Neaten it off. Can't speak. Neaten it off. Then we need another 2 in our flower colour. So again, hook under the white, carry it, find the next 3 chain space, do a slip stitch. Do your next square, chain 3. Hook under the white. So it keeps the white at the back and all these tail ends where it's been carried to the back, so it looks much neater on the front. 1, 2, 3. Another one. So under the yarn into the next 3 chain space, do a slip stitch. And then do your square. Okay, whenever changing colour, just going to pull the white and then just flatten it out to make sure that's nice and neat. So we've done this one, this one, this one, this one. So now we're going to do a white square. Again, I'm going to drop the pink to the back, bring the hook from the front to the back. I'm going to grab the white yarn from here, bring that through. So it's neater on the front, pull that tight, and do a white square. We don't need to carry our pink because we don't need any pink down here. So, but I want to carry the green, so I'm going to put my hook under the green because we need our green next. We hook onto the green first, then go into the 3 chain space. Do your 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. You can, somebody did ask me, I think they asked me on this particular project, whether you can just cut the coloured yarn either end and whether it unravels. It won't unravel, it will just need, all those tail ends will need sewing in at the end. So you don't have to carry your yarn. I just choose to do so. Sometimes what I do is carry the yarn for the whole project, and if it looks distorted at the end, I actually then just trim it in between and then tie it, and then it loosens it up but doesn't unravel. So you could do that if you wanted to. So we've done one white, so that's this one. They want a green, so drop the white to the back, front to back for the 3 chain space, and grab the green, pull the white and do a green square. We want to carry the white, we need one more white at the end. Let's go onto the white, 3 double crochet. So when working on the back row like this, do your colour changes by dropping your yarn to the front this side, and then when you're joining the yarn, come from the front to the back for the 3 chain space. And then we're going to finish up with 1 white, so drop the green to the front here. Like I said, come from the front to the back, grab your next colour, pull the green, and do your last white square. Don't have to carry the green because we're finishing up. 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch in this next 3 chain space, break up a loop. Okay, so slowly coming together, so you can see a little bit of white there. If that really bothers you, you can just cut it and then tie it either edge if you want to. So we've finished with all our green, which is good. Now we're working on this row, so we're going to do 2 white, 4 in our pink, finish on 1 white. And we don't want to add a square, so we're going to move up again. So what we do is we just turn our work straight away, slip stitch over to our first 3 chain space. That's how you decrease your C2C. 2, next stitch, slip stitch, so slip stitch and then first 3, and then slip stitch in your 3 chain space. And I'm slip stitching with a white because we're starting off with 2 white, and then chain 3 to go straight into a square. Chain 3, slip stitch. Now I can just slip stitch as normal because I'm working from the front, so I'm just go front to back. Chain 3 for our next square. And then, so we've done our 2 white squares, done our 2 white, that one and that one. Now we need to do 4 in the flower colour. So I'm going to go into the next 3 chain space, but I'm going to grab the pink, which is just down here, and I'm coming from the back, so pull the white tight. We're going to do 4 in the pink, but annoyingly we have to carry the white to the very end. So when you yarn over and go back in, make sure your white sat on your hook. do your 3 double crochet. Two, 3, so that's our first one. We want 4 of these. Slip stitch into the next 3 chain space. Remember to bring up the white before you do your slip stitch. Do your next square. Making sure that white's being carried. And next one, next 3 chain space, bring up the white, chain 3, 3 double crochet, carrying the white, and then one more. 3 chain space, bring up the white, slip stitch first, then do your square, then so we've done our 4 colours. Going to finish up with, we've done these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, go end on that last white square. So into the 3 chain space, drop the pink to the back, hopefully your white's just there. Just before you slip stitch with it, just give a little pull, then flatten out to make sure there's no loops, and then yarn over with the white instead for your slip stitch and finish your last square in white. Two and 3. Okay, so there we go. So we can cross off this one. But now we're moving over to this row here. So we're going to do 2 white, 2 in the pink or yellow, 2 in the white. Okay. But we don't want to add a square because we've reached the corner here. We need to move over because we've reached the top. We don't want to add a square here. We need to move over, so we need to slip stitch over. So we're not adding a square. So just turn your work straight away and then slip stitch over to your 3 chain space. Two, 3, and slip stitch into the 3 chain space. Make sure the first one is, yes, the first 2 are white, so I can slip stitch with the white. So then do your square. First one in white, and then I'm going to carry the pink up though, so I'm just going to tuck my hook onto the pink first before I go into the slip stitch. Do my next square in white. That just brings up the pink, carries it ready, makes it a bit neater. So another white square. And then it was 2 in the pink. So I'm going to drop, because we're working on the back now, this is our back, we drop the colour, we drop the white to the front here, and we go into our next 3 chain space from the back instead, and we're grabbing the yarn this way round. Bring that through, pull that down, then do 2 squares in the pink, but we're going to carry the white, so just make sure you tuck your hook under the white first when working this way round. So we only do it this way on the way back. 2, 3. It's just the way I've developed it while working on my other bigger project for carrying the yarn. And just give it little tugs, not too tight though. So that's our first pink, and then our next one we need to carry the yarns, put your hook onto the white, into the next 3 chain space, do a slip stitch first. Don't forget to do your slip stitch to join that last square, and then another pink square. Pull the white so it's nice and tight, but then flatten it out. So we've done the first 2 white, 2 in the colour. I'm going to end on 2 white. So drop the pink to the front, come from the front to the back for the chain space, and grab the white. Just pull that tight and do 2 white squares. We don't need to carry the pink, so we can just work nice and normally, which is always really nice to do. You have a lot of patience with corner to corner crochet with carrying colours. So you either have to have patience with carrying the colour or patience with tying in lots of ends at the end. And we can just go in from the front to the back as normal because we're not dealing with any colours. Do our last white square. We're almost finishing our flower. So this has taken a little while to do, just this project. So that's why I can't share slip stitch in the last 3 chain space. That's why I can't share the big project I'm doing, because it'd just be too long, I'm afraid. So we've done those 2. Then we're going to move on to this one. So we've got 1 white, 3 going to be in our pink, then 1 white. Okay, I'm just going to finish that to the end, and we're still decreasing now because we're coming into a corner. So after that slip stitch, just turn your work straight away, slip stitch over to your 3 chain space. Slip stitch. Make sure it's a white one first. It is. Always, that's why it's a good idea to have the border. So you can always start off with a white in your border colour. So 1 white square, 2, 3, and then we're doing 3 in the pink, aren't we? So now we're doing 3 in the pink, so we need to, because it's a front, we can just go from front to back. Then just grab the pink down here and bring that through. Pull the white and do 3 pink squares, but remember to carry the white. So make sure it's sat on top of your hook. Here's 1, then slip stitch up to the next 3 chain space, but remember to carry the pink, the white rather. tug on the white as you go, and then one more slip stitch, carry the white, another pink square, carrying the white, just pull your white, make sure there's no loops, and then I'm going to finish up with one white, so we can drop the pink and just do one white square at the end. Should hopefully be sat there waiting. Slip stitch with the white, pull your pink and do one white square. Slip stitch in the next 3 chain space at the top to finish. Okay, so it's really coming along now. So we've done this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Now we're going to start here. So we're going to do 2 white, 1 pink, 1 white. So we're getting right near the end, and because we're decreasing, we don't want to add a square, so we turn straight away. So basically, whenever you get past these corners, you're decreasing, which means you're not adding a square, and you need to slip stitch over. Two, 3. Slip stitch in the 3 chain space. And what do I need to do again? I need to do 2 white. So chain 3 to begin and do 2 white squares. Okie dokie. 1, 2, 3 double crochet. I just want to carry the pink, so I'm just going to tuck my hook, because this is the back, tuck my hook under there before slip stitching into the next 3 chain space, just to bring it up. Do another white square. And then we're going to do a pink square. So we need, because this is the back, reverse row, drop the white to the front, come through the 3 chain space from the back and grab the pink that way. Pull the white and do a pink square. Remembering to carry the white yarn, so we're going to tuck our hook underneath that first. Then we're just finishing up with a white square, so we're going to drop the pink to the front and coming from the front to the back, the next 3 chain space, I'm going to grab the white. And finish up with a white square. Don't need to carry the pink. It's getting smaller and smaller now, because we're not chaining 6 at the beginning, we're just slip stitching over it, just gets smaller and smaller. And then slip stitch into the 3rd chain to finish that row. Okay, so we've done that row, there was only 4 on there, so that's good. It's done this one, this one, this one, this one. So now we're starting here, so it's going to go white, pink, white, then we send on white. So almost at the end of using our pink. Turn your work straight away because we're decreasing, slip stitch over. It's quite a long video, but I thought I'd do the whole thing with you. Slip stitch in there. The first one's white. So let's do one white square. I suppose the reason for my white would last when it has. So do a white square, 3 double crochet. Then we need to do one pink square. So when we slip stitch, I'm going to grab the pink instead from down there, slip stitch with the pink, do a pink square, but carry the white yarn. Then a white square, but we're going to drop the pink. Hopefully our white's there, and slip stitch with the white. Tighten the pink and do a white square to finish. Don't need to carry any pink or anything. We're actually completely done with the pink. Slip stitch that 3 chain space to finish. So that's that row done. So we've done that one, and that one. Now we're going to do 2 white. I'm actually going to cut the pink and the green, finish with the pink and the green, so it just avoids tangles. And still decreasing, so we're going to turn our work straight away, slip stitch over. Slip stitch into 3 chain space, and we're going to do 2 white squares. We don't have to carry any yarn, so just 2 white squares. Slip stitch in the next 3 chain space and do another white square. Slip stitch 3 chain space, and that's the end of that row, just 2 squares, and that's it. We're going to finish up with the very last white square. So we're decreasing, so we turn our work straight away, slip stitch over, and do 1 white square, chain 3. So when you're increasing up to the first corner, so this side is increasing, you chain 6 at the beginning of each row. And when you're decreasing, once you get past the corners, you slip stitch over and just chain 3. And then slip stitch in the last 3 chain space, and we're done. So we can cut our yarn. We don't want to add a border. Pull that through. There is a recreation of your little flower. So there we go. Let's see if we can focus in a bit better. So there we go. There is our finished C2C project. Obviously you may want to hide your tail ends. The back's not too bad. You may wish to, like I say, you may wish to cut your yarn at the end of each row. But that is the very basics of designing your own little C2C project. And that's how you interpret that into the actual crochet. And like I said, these things can get very advanced. The one I'm working on Instagram, which I've shared on Instagram, and the reason I can't share it on camera is because it would take forever, because here it is. This is the pattern which I got, and it was just a little image I took off the internet that was in little bitmap format, so this sort of pixelated character, and I put that into the little squares, coloured all the little bits that I needed, and I've been marking each row the same as I did here with crossing them off. I've been marking each row, and this is what I've got so far, so it's coming along nicely. I do get tangled a lot. What I've been doing is carrying the yarn as I go for this project, and then I've actually cut it. You can see on the back, I then cut it as I've gone along, and I've just tied it all. This is actually going to be a cushion, so all these tail ends won't need to be sewn in, thank goodness. It's going to be turned into a cushion, but there we go. It's a little neko atsume, our little Japanese cat character pumpkin. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope it's inspired you to get some little cross stitch images and turn them into corner to corner crochet, and how to design your own. And like I said, you can get this square paper off my website. Just go to the resources section, there's a link at the top. If you don't see it on the home page, just click through to any page until you get the top navigation, and then just on the right hand side it will say resources, and there's a PDF that you can open up and then print off, which will get you your graph paper. But I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys, and do join me on Instagram and tag me at Happy Berry Crochet so I can see the projects you're working on. Cheers, guys. Bye.